Young men need guardrails. They need a girlfriend, a job to tell them, no, you need to put on a shirt and get into work. No, you can't get high and drunk every night. No, if you want to continue to have sex with me, you need to get your shit together. I think that's really important for a young man, especially young men. And young women need it as well, but just not as much. So I think what you have is a generation of young men that have no motivation, no guardrails. They get their dope hit of addiction on Robinhood. They don't have the mojo to get out there and meet women as much because they're watching so much porn. They get this illusion that they have some sort of worth or affirmation when they say angry things on social media that they get rewarded for. They start blaming other people. Specifically, they start blaming women, and they become much more prone to misogynistic content. They start believing in conspiracy theory. They're less likely to believe in climate change. And some, they become just really shitty citizens. And we're producing just a massive amount of these individuals.
Do you think that makes it right?
I think that men should be careful of the women that they encounter. I think everybody should be careful.
I think men should always have representation.
That's great.
You're not taking advantage.
What are you?
What the fuck? You're not taking advantage? You see this fucking soy boy? This is a literal white knight. Just an NPC popping up out of nowhere saying the most generic shit that's not gonna get him laid.
Why are so many guys single today?
Because they suck. Dude, the average guy is shit.
I see these guys all over my feed. It's just these, alpha male influencers that shit on other dudes for not living up to this hyper-competitive discipline that you preach. Like, look, I'm an average guy, okay? I'm not waking up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm not eating raw animal testicles, and I'm not buying rental properties for passive income. I'm just an average guy. I'm good enough. That should be enough, right? Yeah, sometimes I get takeout too much. Sometimes, I pack a dip on the toilet and I've sat there too long and my leg falls asleep. That's fine. All average guys need is community. They need people that listen to them and love them and understand them for who they are. And then that will push them to higher levels of, a fulfilled life. Not someone like you telling them they're not good enough and they suck, okay? Buddy, you suck. You got the dump in your pants. Go get a spoon and eat my ass.
Guy pulls up to his Bumble date, leaves immediately and unmatches after being catfished. Your profile only had selfies.
I was supposed to have a first date tonight, and he just unmatched me on Bumble, so I guess we're not going to get drinks anymore. But I thought I would show you guys my outfit so somebody saw it. Because I know I'll get questions. My dress is from Eloquy, but I got it from D&Co. My jacket is from ASOS, and my boots are Topshop.
The reason it hurts so much when a woman breaks up is because you've been worshiping the woman who broke up with you. And worshiping somebody's not attractive. It's not attractive to them. It doesn't make them feel important. It makes you look weaker. It makes them feel overinflated in their own self-worth. But when you transfer worship from a human being to a purpose, a passion, a plan, or to a real God, it's gonna hurt.
Bite my tongue, it's a bad habit.
Alright, let's talk about this. I used to see this firsthand with my ex. Like, we'd be hanging out and she would just post a picture of just her face. And because she was a pretty girl, I would see so many guys swipe up on her stories, hard eyes, yo, you're so bad, let me talk to you. And she would show me the responses and be like, look at this, this is crazy. Before you sit here and go, see, this is what I mean, it's so much easier for women, we're alone and they're not. Bro, it is not the girl's fault, it's the guy's fault. Simping is the root cause of this, that's the issue, and you should know that's a problem by now. But let's talk about something different. Let's talk about how you can actually use this to your advantage. This is one of the reasons why I talk so much about cold approaching and being able to talk to girls in person, because a lot of them want that. This may sound kind of backwards, but because of the way that social media is and the way that everything works and attention, being traditional often gives you better chances. Being the guy who's actually confident enough to go up and talk to a girl in person is often much better than just swiping up on her story.
When a girl talks about her ex, is she ever in the wrong? Every time a girl talks about her ex, but he was so toxic. Oh my God, he was crazy. My ex, I can't believe it. It was because he was a Scorpio. He treated me badly. She's never like, you know what? Yeah, I kind of fucked up. But I've heard dudes like, yeah, I was a little, hey,
been on this stream, I've said shit that I fucked up in a relationship in the past. A girl is never wrong in a relationship. Her ego can't handle it. So when the relationship ends, she'll just find some way to call the guy a piece of shit.
Why I think women are worse nowadays is we're bailed out. We are paid to leave marriages and we're paid to be single mothers. If you pay someone to do something, they're going to do more of it.
They don't fear consequences.
Yeah, and so when women, like men, and if men were paid to be single fathers, I'm sure there would be more.
What?
And so what happens is women, like, again, how do most relationships start? Situationships, and girls want to get the kid from the guy, and like they want to get there's whole Reddit threads of women trying to figure out how to get a guy, get a guy's kid, and even this has been on national TV. This is how big this problem is, and it's because when women get on birth control, they say they're off of it, or they get in that situation because they want to get the top 20% of men. Like, this is what girls always do. It's every time we make a point that's for the men and that makes sense, we have to bring up the exception. If that was the case, then you would see the men with the most options, the most handsome men and the most rich men with fat chicks, but they're not. The men that date fat chicks, it's usually they don't have as many options. And some girls get away with it a little bit more because they're shaped better, they have a pretty face, but by and large, men just don't like fat girls.
Younger women tend to be attracted to men who show these dark triad traits: narcissism, Machiavellian, and psychopathic.
You are not wrong.
So what's up?
Logically, it doesn't make sense, but boy, women, are we in trouble. Because apparently, this brand spanking new study that was just published in September 2019, they asked 46 young men between the ages of 17 to 25, all different ethnicities, all different levels of physical attractiveness, to make 2-minute videos about themselves, talking about what they like to do on a date, basically like a dating video. And at the same time, they had them rate themselves on some questionnaires that are designed to see how many psychopathic traits they have and how socially cunning they are. And guess what? 100+ women viewed these videos, and they rated these guys with the highest level of psychopathic traits as the most sexually attractive.
That's attractive to a lot of women, that a man would date multiple women and then just not lie about it. They're just so used to being with men who lie, because these men did not serve in the military. They did not play football. They'd never been underneath a bench. It's very different. When I grew up in the 80s and 90s, we wouldn't talk shit about each other on social media. We just go have a fist fight and then we were cool afterward. That doesn't happen anymore. And so it's just a very different masculinity, if you will. And I think when a woman would meet someone like you who would be honest with them about it, the fact that you were honest is just so contrary to what they're used to, which is the guy who says, hey, we're in a relationship, and then I don't want you sleeping with any other guys, and then while you're at work, I'm going to go fuck other women. That's generally what we see a lot of. And like, when you can just be honest about it, there's a lot of women that are like, wow, that's incredible. This guy can just be honest. You know what I'm saying?
What sort of oppression do you face?
Every man is an attacker for me. I have to leave the house always in fear.
But don't you think viewing like an entire group and assuming they're attackers, that's kind of a dangerous worldview?
That's the world that women live in. Your mother, you have a mother, right? Have you ever asked them, have they been attacked, assaulted, raped?
Yes.
Okay, and what would they say to you? Exactly. But do you think that's honestly true, or do you think that that's what they told you? How many men do you know that have assaulted a woman? None? How does the math on that add up?
You do realize that not all men are rapists, right?
I know that not all men are rapists, but not all men are not prone to assault.
What if men say, all women are liars?
And all women are liars, and all men...
I'm using it as an
But all men could potentially attack me?
She doesn't get it. There's no point. There's no point in engaging. He's starting off middle ground. The more you keep doing these interviews, you're gonna get red pilled. This is what happened to me. I started talking to these bots on the street who made no goddamn sense at all, spewing the same nonsense you see at Twitter, and then you're like, wow, everybody's brainwashed.
Bring your ex. Maybe you can make up. Get back together. I'll fix it. I'll mediate. Imagine the Twitch stream where I'm the mediator, I'm the marriage counselor, you and her, and I get it all fixed.
Listen.
But she will have to admit I was right, that no one grew apart, she just grew into a new dick.
She made OnlyFans yesterday.
She's been doing a lot more than that, G. I don't know why you're worried about a fucking website. OnlyFans. That's a website. Don't worry about that. She's been up to a lot fucking more.
No,
how many times she not replied to you at night? How many times she been asleep by 9 p.m.?
She's different, bro. She's different.
She's different. Yeah. She's super different, bro. 100%. She's so different. You know your problem? If I split up with a girl, I sit there and understand that females don't like to downgrade. And I say, okay, she now has to meet another man with hundreds of millions of dollars, who's an ex-athlete or kickboxing world champion, who's strong and smart and interesting and funny and the most famous. martyr of Earth for trying to crack the Matrix. There's no competition, but your problem is, you're so fucking normal. Yeah, you have a Twitch stream, who gives a shit? You look like Joe Schmo, you act like Joe Schmo, you do Joe Schmo shit. So if she'll fuck a man like you, she'll fuck basically anybody. And that means that she can get a guy from KFC or Starbucks or fucking some other random Twitch clown, and you can get replaced so quick. That's what your problem is. I don't have that problem. You do.